What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to show you how to assign the drum pads on your M25. Now we also have a way of assigning each pad to a specific drum sound or a note on our instrument depending on which one we're using in our DAW. We first have to understand how to edit the drum sound on our pad here. So to do that, we're going to look for the drum setting button here, and if we hold that down, you'll see all of the drum pads start to light up. So to edit these pads, we're actually going to be using these knobs here on the side, and each knob corresponds with the pad. So for example, knob number 1 here is going to be used to edit pad 1 over here. Knob number 2 is going to be used to edit pad 2, and so on and so forth. So if we're working with pad 1, we're going to assign the note of pad 1 using knob number 1 here. And we can use the knob, and we have all of these different numbers here to choose from. And you may be wondering how these numbers translate to the drum sound or the note that we're trying to hit, but there is an answer to that. There is a way to find out how these numbers translate to MIDI notes, and for that we're going to refer to the MIDI note key number chart. We're going to show it right here on screen so you can take a picture and follow along. I actually found it helpful to open up the MIDI keyboard down here as well, so I knew which note activated which drum sound. So for example, C1 right here is going to be our kick drum, then we have the snare right next to that, and so on and so forth. So if we know C1 is the MIDI note for our kick drum, I can look at my chart here. I'm going to find the C note right here on top, and then to get to C1, I'm gonna look down this octave side here until I see number 1, and then if I look to where the C column is, I'll find that the number that corresponds with that MIDI note is 36. So with that, we know what number to set pad number 1 to activate the kick drum. So let's try that out. I'm gonna hold down the drum setting button here, then I'm gonna use knob 1 to adjust pad 1, and like we said, 36 is gonna be the number for the kick drum sound. And now if I play the pad, you'll see that we have the kick drum. So using that same system, let's use pad 2 as a snare drum. So again, we're going to go to the MIDI keyboard here. We're gonna look for that snare. There it is right there. So that's actually gonna be D1, as we know by looking at this chart here. So it goes C1, C2, C3, etc. I can then go to the chart here and look for D right on top, and then I'm going to go down to the 1 octave, and then I'm gonna land on the number 38. So with that, we know what number to set pad 2 to. So to edit pad 2, again, I'm gonna hold down the drum setting button. Then I'm gonna use knob number 2 to edit pad number 2. And we're going to set this to the number 38. And now if I play pad number 2, we got the snare drum. So you can follow this process to assign the rest of the drums to your pads here. And then you can do the same exact thing on bank B by pressing bank B and following the same steps. To make this easier, I also like to have my MIDI keyboard down here open, and if we take a look at it, you'll see that all of these notes here on the keyboard co-align with a drum sound. So for example, C1 is our kick, then we have D1 right next to that as our snare center, and so on and so forth. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to assign the drum pads on your M25. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.